Hi everybody, welcome to Push Your Luck video. My name is Eric and today we'll be looking at Hanamikoji. This is a 2013 release. Now before we go to this edition of Triple Threats, I'd like to thank Fun Again Games for being our affiliate. So when you go to funagaingames.com and when you browse and buy games, do put in our affiliate code PULV. Alright, it will give me a little bit of incentive later on, and it will mean a lot to me as well. And also, dear viewers, please like this video and also subscribe to my channel. Leave me feedback and comments. I will much appreciate it. So on with the video. So Hanamikoji, it is a two-player game. It's just only two players. It plays for about 15 minutes, and it is by designer Kota Nakayama. Alright, I think this is his only design. I checked on BGG, there was only one design of his. And this is, it plays pretty fast, it's easy to pick up, and can be quite hard to learn as well. Surprisingly, a lot of depth in the game. So while we're talking about 2013 release game, I think recently it got quite a lot of hype, a lot of reviewers and players suddenly got wind of it, and I think Emperor S4 Games has recently republished it as well. So it got a lot of hype and it's much more easily available to the rest of the world. So that's why it can be seen like a new version, and so it got a lot of hype and now it becomes popular again. So let's go to our triple treats and triple threats of the game. The first treat I'm going to talk about is the simplicity of the rules. Alright, but the general mechanism is I pick, you choose. Alright, so players are given these 4 tiles. Alright, and they are expected to play all these 4 tiles later on during their game. Each player will have the same set of tiles as well. So, and then players will be given a set of cards. Like so. So these are the cards that you'll be having. Alright, it will be randomly shuffled and drawn out, dealt out to each player. So what they're trying to do is that they're trying to, using those tiles that you saw just now, to give your opponent some cards and also yourself some cards. But you need to do it strategically so that you are actually gaining the favors of these geisha cards. Alright, so once you play the tile, for example, this tile means, right, this tile, if you can see this tile, it means that you need to, from your hand, alright, you need to choose 2 pairs. Form 2 pairs, alright, and reveal them to your opponent. Then your opponent will take 1 pair and you take the other pair, and then you will lay them up according to which number they are, according to the geisha as well. So this is so if you want to play this correctly, you need to make sure that you're giving your opponents some pairs, alright, that they did not want, or so much so that something that they want, but more so than what you actually want, so that they eventually at the end of this whole tile activation, you will get the 2 cards that you want. So this makes for very interesting decisions. It's very easy to explain, very easy to understand. When it was explained to me the first time the rules, I was like, oh, that's it. That seems to be quite simple. All right, but there's a lot more to it than just the rules itself. So that's my first treat of the game, the simple rules. Very easy to explain, very easy to understand. That will lead me to the second treat of this game, is that it's easy to understand but it's hard to master. The basic mechanism, like I said, is I pick, you choose. But that mechanism is really brought out very well in the game. When you look at the cards you have, you can kind of figure out what cards your opponent has as well. But there are a few cards that are out of the game when you shuffle. And there are also cards that you're drawing. So whenever you play cards using the tiles, at the start of each round, right, before you play your tile, you're also drawing 1 card. And the game is designed such a way that the number of cards in your hand, you'll always be able to play any one of the tiles that you have not yet played. Alright, and so when you draw the card, you kind of know roughly what kind of cards your opponent may have, right, but you cannot know for sure what they have. And at the same time, you know what you have, and based on that information, you're trying to make the best decision you can, and trying to decide, oh, should I keep this card for later on, or should I tempt my opponents, or should I entrap them? So there's a lot of mind games going on. There's also a lot of you have to make the best decision, and in that way there's a lot of breadth and a lot of depth to the game as well. So this is one thing I really like. It's so simple, it's so easy to understand, but there's so much thinkiness to it. All right, that it kind of you look at the game, it's such a simple, such a small box, so few components, yet it has so much richness and decision making to it. So that's my number 2 treat to the game. The easy to understand but hard to master. So my number 3 treat of the game is the amazing artwork. So you can see these are the different geishas that you're trying to gain the favor of. Alright, you can see that they're all really pretty artwork. The cards as well, alright, that you use to play the game and to try to gain the favors of these geishas are also very pretty. Also very, very well done artwork. They could have went with minimalistic, they could went with abstract art, but in a way I'm kind of glad that they did this because it's really pretty and gorgeous to look at. So that's my number 3 treat of the game, Hanamikoji. So what are my 3 threats about the game? Let's take a look. So my first threat about the game is the theme. Alright, so this is the theme is that they are geishas and trying to gain favors of them. And so that's why you have all these pretty pictures that I mentioned just now. I'm kind of surprised that they went with this theme. They could have gone with a lot of other themes, like I know animals, or dogs. You're trying to feed dogs and try to get them into your side of the camp or something like that, or even like war, stuff like that. So I'm kind of surprised they went with the geisha theme. So I mean, this could put some people off. Some people may not like it as much, but you could always retheme it later on. All right, after you buy the game, you can always retheme it to something else. All right, but so that's my first threats of the game, the theme. My second threat of the game is the analysis paralysis. So since there's this amount of information that you have, which is feels like you have 50% of information out there, even though it's probably less than like 30%. But at the same, because of this feeling that you should know what to play, you should know what tiles to play and what cards to give up and so on and so forth, you end up thinking quite a lot about during your turn. You're trying to you first and foremost, you actually drew a card, so that card will then may change what you are thinking of during that turn, and may change what tiles you are playing as well. Now as the game progresses, this will be much more easier because you have fewer tiles to play. Every round you're playing all 4 tiles, alright, which is interesting as well. That makes the first 2 times you're playing in that round, the first 2 tiles that you play, very important, very strategic, and so it makes you really want to sit there and think long and hard about what your actions are. So that might cause a lot of analysis paralysis, especially in people who are very competitive. But if you take it casually and stuff for that, it might move on faster. It shouldn't take too long to play the game. I mean, the rules are simple. There's only 2 players, so it should take 15 minutes. But if you really sit down and really plan out your move and think of all the alternate strategies, if I play this, if I do that, will he accept this, will he accept that, and so on and so forth. Alright, it might take longer than 15 minutes. It might take 30 minutes, but I really hope it doesn't go up to an hour. So that's my second threat about the game, analysis paralysis. So what's my third threat about the game is that it could lead to friendly tie at the end of the game, in the sense that when one of the rules is that you're supposed to play at most 3 games, and then there are certain tiebreakers, and if no one meets one of the tiebreakers, you actually both will win the game, or there's tie, nobody wins the game. Alright, so I don't really like games that have the kind of like, oh, we go through all these tiebreakers and then it's friendly ties and so everybody wins kind of thing. I much prefer if there's a clear winner of who won and who lost. Alright, so that's my third threat of a game that can lead to a friendly tie situation. So now that's my triple threats. Let's go to my final thoughts about the game. So what do I think of Hanamikoji? I think it's a great game. I really like how small form it is, how easy it is to teach, but there's so much to do. As in the sense that don't think that it is a small box game. There's only cards. There's not that many cardboard inside there, but there's so much depth to it. All right, there's so much things to think about during your turn. Should I do this? Should I do that? Every move feels very excruciating. The I pick you choose mechanism is really distilled until its very essence, right? Because the tiles that you have, other than the one tile where you can keep one card hidden, all right, the rest of the tiles involves giving cards to your opponents. So that's really the I pick you choose mechanism distilled down to its very pure essence. So it feels like a very, very good example for if you want to tell people, okay, so this is what is the I pick you choose mechanism game. I would say this is a prime example of the I pick you choose mechanism. There's so much after you played. All right, the first time when I played this game, there was very clear winners. All right, who will win the game. The subsequent times when I played it, we actually managed to go through the second round and third round and fourth round, because the first round nobody was the straight up winner of the game. All right, and that the second and third round is actually even more interesting, because after you've finish the first round, if you kind of have geishas where you won or you gain favors of, all right, that would mean that if I was behind, I will need to work doubly hard to try to bring those geishas to my side as well. And my opponent may not need to do anything else with those geishas. He or she can then focus on the other geishas and try to bring them to his or her side as well. So so it does have a lot of replayability to it, all right, because the cards that you get are never really the same. Even then, the way that you draw cards, which will then change your mindset or change your strategy as well. So I would say the Hanamikoji, I highly recommend it. All right, I'll put a link as well in this video, all right, on where you can find it on funagaingames.com. So once again, thank you so much for watching this video. Do support me by liking me and subscribing to me on this YouTube channel and leaving me your feedback as well is greatly appreciated. And also you can go to funagaingames.com to buy your copy of Hanamikoji. Thank you so much for watching. See you!